Hello, River Flow Yoga community. I'm Rhonda Aretsky, and welcome to our midday practice, the Blissful Warrior. This is our midday practice in yoga and meditation and mindfulness, a way to sort of bring yourself back home, right? Home from whatever might have thrown you out of your place of home this morning. And certainly there might have been a lot. I know I have been engaged in Facebook chatter all morning, something I promised myself I would not do, and yet for some reason this morning I seem to be really sort of addicted to it. It's got tentacles for me this morning, so I am particularly happy to have this practice. I find that the middle of the day is the best time for it. You've already had a morning, your afternoon is ahead of you, you have this moment, you have this precious moment here in the middle of your day when you can pivot. When you sort of at a crossroads, literally. It's a crossroads in the middle of the day where you can follow whatever you've been doing in the morning, like me with Facebook, right? I can just continue on and let this thing drag me along, or I can take this moment and say, wait a minute, is this really what feels good to me? Is this soothing me? Is this anything that's benefiting me or anybody else? And then I can make an informed choice. And by informed, I mean informed by my own feelings. It doesn't feel good for me to do this thing that I am continuing to do. And I know you have this experience in your life. We all do. My friend calls it humaning, right? We feel drawn to these behaviors that really don't feel good, and yet we just can't seem to stop doing them. And I don't mean things like, eating cake or things that might actually be enjoyable. I mean things like engaging in Facebook debates with strangers, with people that I don't know. These things just do not feel good to me. And for many of you, I know you know what I'm talking about. It's just an endless circle going nowhere. And yet, I just kept doing it this morning. So I am very appreciative to have this practice in the middle of the day. And a practice is just that. It's a practice. It's not something you master and then you're done. It is something you commit to doing as a steady, consistent thing because it gives you some benefit. And I certainly, after 45 years of practicing and teaching yoga, I can tell you that the benefit is real and the benefit is ongoing. And as I continue to practice, I just go deeper and deeper into it. So if this is the first time that you're joining this Blissful Warrior practice, welcome. If it's the first time in your life you're attempting to have a practice, something that you consistently do that brings you a sense of peace or joy or calm, whatever it is that you're here for, soothing, welcome. If you've been practicing for a long time, then you know what I mean. Having a practice is very beneficial. And at different times in our lives, we can lose our practice, right? We can sometimes convince ourselves that, okay, I'm done now. I've reached where I want to reach. My poses are great. I feel really good. I'm done. And always, and I have reached that point at certain points in my life. And always, when you return, it's like a homecoming. It just feels like yourself again. So welcome to this practice. I have named this the Blissful Warrior. I actually wrote a book called The Blissful Warrior, and I've named this practice the Blissful Warrior because I've curated from my many, many years of practice the different kinds of practices that really give me soothing and joy. Two things that I feel are in short supply these days, especially soothing. So much of what we come up against isn't soothing. It's maybe even designed to agitate you and to get you more frustrated and upset. And so the practices that soothe you are the ones that bring your brain back online in a way that you can move forward in your day, making decisions that come from a place of logic and heart, decisions that will actually feel good to you. When you're agitated and frustrated, when you're angry or upset, those parts of your brain actually go offline. The parts of your brain that are used for cognitive thinking and logical reasoning and solution finding, right? Those places go dark. And that is a medical fact. We can see this on MRIs now where they do pictures of the brain. These parts of the brain just go dark. So when you are in a position to take action, or go forward or make a decision, you certainly don't want those parts not involved. And so you do need to soothe yourself first. And we all know the benefit. We've all heard that you don't make a decision from a place of being angry, and you don't try to make choices, good choices, when you're frustrated or upset. And yet, so many of us do. I mean, look at me this morning with this Facebook page. Clearly, I was continuing to get more and more agitated and engaging in conversation. And this is not the time to engage in conversation. It's the time to come back home, find yourself again, and then go forward with whatever it is that you want to do for the rest of your day. So, I welcome you to this practice. I welcome you to share this practice with me. Clearly, it is a practice that is good for me, and that's why I'm doing it. You know, I do have a yoga studio here in Lambertville, New Jersey. It's called River Flow Yoga. We have had our front doors closed since March, and we've switched to this format where myself and all of the teachers of River Flow Yoga are simply here online sharing our heartfelt practices with you. And we hope that you join us and that you gain benefit from it. And we as yoga teachers are doing this to shore up our own practices, to keep ourselves steady in these very unbalanced times. So welcome to those who are joining me now, and if you'll be tuning in later. I know a lot of people like to do that. They tune into these pages later on when the time is more convenient. So you've arrived. Good for you. The first arrival practice, and by an arrival practice I mean something that places you here, that will take you out of whatever it is that has come before that might still be lingering around in your thoughts but really isn't present anymore. For me, all this Facebook talk this morning, right? I'm not doing it now, so I don't want to think about it now. I want to be here right now. Certainly I have plans for the afternoon, as I'm sure you do, but they haven't arrived yet. So still, I want to be here right now, fully present, and feeling the real beauty of feeling fully present. That in and of itself can ground you and soothe you instantly. So how do you become present? Well, let's start by drinking some water. These are simple practices, my friends, and they will be amazingly beneficial for you. So grab some water and let's drink some water. Most of us don't drink enough. And that's just a sort of biological fact, an anatomical fact. The more water that you drink, the more your body soaks it up and really enjoys this fluid feeling going through you. So I drink half my body weight in ounces of water every day. It's not a hard and fast rule. It's just something I got told by a naturopath many, many years ago, and I tried it on for myself, and it worked great for me. So if you'd like to experiment with it, half your body weight in ounces of water for the next 30 days. See how you feel. And right now, let's start with a few sips. My few sips are usually quite long. I really do enjoy drinking water, and once I start, I really do feel inspired to keep going. Okay, now let's arrive in our physical postures. So if you're sitting in a chair right now and you'd like to remain in that chair, go ahead. There's some real benefits to sitting in a chair, some soothing benefits to leaning back a little bit and relaxing, some benefits to placing both feet on the ground. The soles of your feet on the ground will calm your nervous system. Your nervous system is an agitating kind of a system. Looks a little bit like this. Something agitates your nervous system, things start shaking up inside of you. And while you don't know what your nervous system looks like, you definitely know what it feels like to feel this agitated. And yet, if I place this wand on a flat surface, just like if you place the soles of your feet on the ground, it will start to calm itself. And that's exactly what happens in your nervous system. So you have this built-in anatomical cure for agitation and stress. Simple, right? Place both feet on the ground. Easy to do when you're sitting in a chair. If you have the luxury of being able to lie down right now in the arrival practice, then lie on your back, let your legs come straight out, place your arms at your sides with your palms facing up, Allow your heels to lightly touch and your toes to flop apart, and keep your eyes open. So whether you are lying on the ground or sitting in a chair or sitting on the ground, let's keep the eyes open. By the way, if you are sitting on the ground and you'd like a really great comfort tip, place a pillow under you and slide your body to the front edge of that cushion or pillow and let your hips and knees just tilt downward in this beautiful sense of relaxation. I can feel it going right through me as I move myself to the front of this cushion. Okay. So find your focus right in front of you. If you're sitting in a chair or sitting on the ground, try looking at something in front of you and look out of the tops of your eyes more so than the centers of your eyes. See what happens when you look out the centers. You have this neck thrust, this chin thrust. We all have it. But if you just look out of the tops of your eyes and imagine that someone has 2 fingers on your chin and they're just going to push your head back so it settles on your neck. And this is because most of us have a habit of thrusting our chins. And this really creates a lot of stress and strain in the neck. And you know, on top of the emotional stress, which settles in the body as physical stress, holding your body in certain ways can create extra stress. So thrusting the chin is one of those things that strains the neck. So you want to place your head on top of your neck. And looking out of the tops of your eyes, you're just going to feel gentled a little bit, right? Looking out the tops of your eyes, try it. It feels as if something in you has softened in a really beautiful way. So far, simple to be a blissful warrior. All right, find a place to rest your hands. If you're lying down, your arms are at your sides. If you're sitting in a chair, you might try palms on your thighs or knees. If you're sitting on the floor cross-legged, you might try palms on your knees or backs of your hands on your knees or palms in your lap facing up. Now we're going to move into breathing. The most natural thing in the world. Every living being breathes. And yet, if you are deliberate about your breathing, it can give you so much more than just a baseline for survival. It can really go deep into your soothing faculty and bring you into this place of feeling grounded grace. That's what you have inside of you. And that's what you get to connect with right here, right now. All right, we're going to be breathing in and out through the nose, hearing it pass through the back of the throat. So even though you're breathing through the nose, try not to hear it as a sniffing sound in your nose. Try to hear it as a ha sound in the back of your throat coming in and out. And I'll give you some little tiny adjustments to do with your body as you're breathing to coordinate the openness of the breath with the opening of your body. Having a body that feels open and flexible and mobile always feels like freedom. There's an emotional feeling of freedom in a body that moves easily. That's really why, so many people will come to my studio, and one of the main things people say they come to do yoga for is flexibility. And it's absolutely wonderful to have a flexible body, but there's more to it than the physical aspect. Feeling flexible in your body gives you this emotional sense of freedom. And that's a really strong desire for us as humans, the desire to feel free. So we can cultivate that in our own bodies. Let's begin. Inhale through your nose and hear it loud in the back of your throat. Now pull your collarbones wide apart and you expand across the chest. Feel your ribs expand as you continue the inhale, balloon your belly out. Keeping your chin dropped, your shoulders down. Holding yourself here in this feeling of fullness. And exhale. Again, the loud ha sound, like an ocean sound passing through the back of your throat. Your collarbones stay wide, your chest remains open. Your rib cage starts to move inward as if someone has their hands on your ribs, pressing you inward. Your belly deflates, and drop your tailbone straight down, and then tuck it up a little bit towards your navel. You get this nice little tug at the base of your spine. Beautiful traction. Inhale. wide, rib cage expands, balloon your belly. Holding here, notice how easy it is to just stay here, holding the breath in, maybe sipping in a little bit more. Exhale. Loud ha sound in the back of your throat. Feel your collarbones stay pulled open. Feel your ribs come together, your belly deflate, your tailbone drops down, and let it tuck under, just the slightest little bit towards your navel. And you'll notice this little lift in your chest. If you're sitting on the floor, it almost feels like you're hovering. Inhale. Collarbones wide. You're hearing that ha sound in your throat, and just when you think you're at the top of your breath and you can't take in any more, you sip a little more in, ballooning your belly out. Exhale. Empty your belly. Stay empty. Notice again the soothing feeling of staying empty. It doesn't feel like you're gasping for breath. It feels like a place of stillness. Tailbone dropped, tailbone tucked slightly up towards your navel. 3 more breaths. Drop your chin a little, place your head on your neck, and begin. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in and out through the nose and exaggerating that Darth Vader-like sound in the back of your throat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. My friends, if you've done up to this part, drinking some water, arriving in a place of presence, and taking some deep breaths, you have done a world of good for your immune system, your nervous system, your stress levels, your physical health, and for everyone you will interact with for the rest of this day. This is part of being a blissful warrior. You are going to be a warrior about your ability to bring yourself into this place of calm bliss and move from there. And speaking of movement, now we're going to move into the third part of this practice, which is some physical movement. For the pure pleasure of it, we are going to do yoga poses, but there's no contortionist stuff going on here. This is the pure pleasure of movement of your body when you're coming from this place of feeling gentled. So let's take another few sips of water. I'm a big Trader Joe's fan, as you can see. I like these waters. For me, they're very convenient. Half my body weight in ounces of water is a full bottle of these and a little more. So when I go through a full bottle, I know I've gone through half my body weight in ounces. But you know, these days I'm so accustomed to it, I don't even have to check anymore. I just keep drinking. And that's what happens when you develop a practice. It becomes part of not only who you are, but what makes you feel good about being who you are. And it's no longer something that you need to be accountable for. It just becomes part of what makes you feel like yourself. But in the beginning, when you're developing a practice, accountability is extremely important. You know, I have found that having a partner when you're coming into a new practice is so valuable. We are so willing to let ourselves down, to not show up for practices that we know are going to benefit us, ourselves, and yet we are very reluctant to let others down, which can be a very good thing to leverage as you're starting new habits and new practices. Have a partner that you are accountable to, that you're going to show up for every day. And supporting each other is a beautiful practice in and of itself. Okay, so let's move into the movement part of this practice. Let's see how it feels to move this body that you might be familiar with when it's calmed and gentled. All right. If you are sitting on a chair, perhaps you can join us here on the floor. If you're lying on the ground, roll over onto your right side with your palms flat. Push yourself up into a seated position. We're going to begin with some forward bends. So if you are sitting on a cushion, now is the time to remove that cushion. Forward bends are beautiful, relaxing poses. And I'm choosing them today because I feel like I need to be able to let go and really surrender all of that Facebook interaction that I was doing this morning that just didn't feel good. It's time for me to let that go. And forward bends give me that feeling of letting go. So your legs are out in front of you. Let's bring the right leg out to the side 45 degrees and try bending the left leg so that the sole of the left foot is high up against the inner right thigh. Now if you're somebody who has knee problems or knee pain, or if this causes you any pain in your knee, then you just keep that left leg straight out in front of you. This is not a practice of pushing through pain. It's a practice of finding that place of soothing yourself and moving from that place. Maybe it's been a long time since anyone's told you that feeling good actually is beneficial, that pain does not hold any gain for you. Soothing yourself into this place of feeling good and moving from there will give you your strongest benefits physically and emotionally. So take that moment to let that settle in. This is not a practice of beating yourself up. We don't want you to hurt after you do this practice or the next morning when you wake up. We want you to continually feel soothed. And sometimes when you do these poses, the next morning your muscles might feel a little bit noticeable, but they're not painful. Notice the difference. Notice the difference between the feeling of waking something up in your body, feeling its presence, and being in pain. So your right leg is out to the side 45 degrees. Pull from your right heel. So you'll be flexing your right heel forward and flexing your right toes towards your face, and rotate your right knee in a little bit. And when it stops, you've got this perfect alignment. Now again, if you have tight hamstrings or any damage to hamstrings or sciatic nerve, you might want to keep your knee bent. That's perfectly fine. All of these things will accommodate this beautiful forward bend that we're about to practice. Inhale your arms overhead. Clasp all 10 fingers into a strong net over your head, and then pull that net towards the ceiling. Bring your biceps close to your ears. Try to squeeze out the space between your arms. With your both hips down, lift up out of your waist. Feel yourself growing longer and taller. Feel the satisfaction of that growing feeling. Turn your body, your torso, towards your outstretched right leg. Lean back a little bit, and then let's throw this net of fingers over the ball of your right foot and drop your forehead to your knee. And make a touch, bending your knee if you need to, perfectly fine. Tuck your chin. See if you can imagine your chin tucking into that hollow space between your collarbones. As you bend your elbow tips, let them fall down beside your calf muscle. And breathe right here, in and out through your nose. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And release the pose. Pull forward. Get that net off the ball of your foot. Keep flexing your right heel and lift yourself back up. Feel as if you're stacking your spine as you lift up. You can feel like you have a coil in your spine, a big giant slinky, and you are stacking the coils. Now come back to center. Lift up again, and let's alternate the legs. So the left leg is now out 45 degrees, and the sole of your right foot is tucked up against your inner left thigh. And again, any pain in the bent knee, you just keep this leg straight out in front of you with the left leg out to the side, 45 degrees. Flex your left heel forward, flex the toes towards your face, rotate your left knee in, inhale, stretch, lift. Let's stay at center. Trying to squeeze the space out between your arms by squeezing your biceps against your ears, lifting up, reaching up, stretching up. Feel the satisfaction of that. Turn towards your outstretched left leg, lean back a little, and then let's throw this net of fingers now over the ball of the left foot and dropping forehead to knee. Tuck your chin into that between your collarbones. Bend your elbow tips. Let them fall down beside your calf muscle. Pull them in a little bit so they'll be hugging your calf muscle. And breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Feel your shoulders slump as your elbow tips bend. Forehead to knee. And then release. Pull forward from the net, flexing your heel, and bring yourself back up. Putting one coil of that slinky in your back on top of the other, dropping your chin and turning towards the center. And now let's bring both legs out 45 degrees on the ankles. All right, and lift up, stretch up, lengthen up as you keep both hips down. And as you exhale, separate your arms, bring them down, and with your first two fingers, hook between your first two toes. Holding tight. Look ahead of you. Drop your chin and flex your heels forward. Remember, your knees might be bent here, especially if you have tight hamstrings or sciatic issues. Don't worry about it. It's okay to bend your knees. Just hold on tight. As you inhale, lift your chest, suck your stomach in. Pull your collarbones nice and wide. Feel your stability. And as you exhale, begin to pull your chest between your shoulders. Let your chin drop a little so it's not thrusting forward as you pull the chest between your shoulders. So feel as if you're pulling yourself forward and down. Now remember, no pain in the hamstrings. You might feel a little sensation behind your knees. That's fine. Inhale, lift your chest again. Pull your collarbones wide, dropping your chin, keeping your eyes focused. And as you exhale, begin to lead with your breastbone forward. So coming forward and down. Keep looking forward. We're flattening the back now. Lengthening the spine, engaging some natural human traction. Inhale, lift your chest. Collarbones wide. You're still holding the big toes with your first two fingers. And as you exhale, bend your elbow tips, lead your breastbone forward, coming down. Leading with the breastbone. And then release. Slowly coming up, stacking your spine like the coils of a slinky. Bring your legs back together in front of you, still holding your big toes with your first two fingers. Walk your hips backwards. So you end up further back than when you started. This is a really nice rocking for your hips. Inhale, lift your chest, stomach in, collarbones wide, chin dropped. And as you exhale, now pull from the heels and flatten the backs of your knees to the mat. And only if your legs are straight, if your heels are slightly hovering, Now you can pull more. Pulling your elbows down by your calf muscles, leading your chest forward. Still looking up. We're not going to round the back here. We're going to lengthen it. So let me show you this from the side. What happens to your spine when you do this pose? Now this beautiful length and traction gets engaged. Inhale, lift your chest. Stomach in, collarbones wide, drop your chin. Your head is on your neck, flexing your heels. As you exhale, flatten the backs of your knees to the mat. You know that your legs are locked, ready for the next part. If your heels hover a little bit, if they don't, there's no need for you to go any further. Just stay here and lift. But if those heels are hovering, now you exhale, thumbs up, lead your forehead to your thumbs, flattening your back, laying your upper body down on your thighs, elbow tips hitting the ground. Inhale, lift your chest, collarbones wide, stomach in, exhale. If your legs are flat, try flattening again, then continue pulling. And then release. Come on up, slide your hands over your feet, over your ankles, settle them on your shins. Flex your heels, sitting up straight, collarbones wide, chin dropped, head back a little bit. Breathe here. Inhale. Exhale. Another beautiful forward bend is half tortoise, Ardha Karmasana. Sitting hips to heels. Now again, this isn't possible for everyone, and it may be possible for you tomorrow, and maybe not today. We are just concerned with the present moment. We're not concerned about judging what you should be able to do. There are no shoulds here. There's just exploration in the present moment. What feels soothing to you right now? So sometimes you can slip a little cushion between your hips and your heels, and that will help. And sometimes you can just lift yourself up on your fingertips so you're not sitting down hips to heels, and that will help. Inhale, arms overhead, hands in prayer. Press your palms together so there's no space between them. And right away start pulling your fingertips to the ceiling, squeezing your head with your biceps. And drop your tailbone down like a little bit of an anchor and pull up again. Let that tailbone stay dropped down and tucked under a little bit to anchor you so you can lift up more. You can really imagine how great this is for the waistline, how beautifully freeing it is in the spine to just lift up. And now as you exhale, pulling forward. So you're going to try to touch your fingertips to the wall in front of you. Keep your eyes focused on the wall in front of you as your eyes travel down the wall, and your fingertips continue to pull and pull and pull and pull until you're all the way down with the spot between your eyebrows on the mat and the blades of your pinky fingers. Slide them forward. Inch them forward. Feel the length in your arms. Press your palms together. Inhale. Now as you exhale, press down into the blades of your pinky so your wrists are up, your elbows are locked, your shoulders are pulling down from your ears. Can you feel that in your middle back? Hips closer to your heels. Enjoy the freedom of this stretch, this feeling of openness in that spring in your back, that slinky spine. Inhale. Inch forward some more. Press down into the blades of your pinky so your wrists are angled up, your elbows locked, your biceps squeezing your head behind your ears. Shoulders are down. Squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. And see if your hips just come closer to your heels. Breathe here. And releasing the pose, press your palms, squeeze your arms to your head, pulling forward as you pull up. Suck your stomach in. Have this feeling of stacking every coil of the slinky, deliberately, mindfully, carefully. Coming back to center and stretch and reach and lift and drop. Let's turn around and take a moment to breathe. Lie on your back. Arms at your sides. Palms facing up. Heels lightly touching, toes flopped apart. Tucking your chin so your gaze is not at the ceiling, it's down the middle of your body. And breathe. Inhale, collarbones wide apart. Feel your shoulder blades stabilized on the rug of mat. And as you exhale, let your ribs deflate, let your belly deflate. Feel as if someone has slipped their hand under the small of your back and you let your lower back drop into it and be held. Inhale. Exhale, hearing it in the back of your throat. Big loud ha sound in and out. Pavanamuktasana, wind-removing pose. This is a beautiful midday pose because it's so good for the digestive system. Bend your right knee and place the sole of your right foot on the ground. Bring your arms in close and pull your fingertips. Tuck your chin. Bend your knee to your chest. Bend your elbow tips and clasp all 10 fingers right here, 2 inches below the knee. Try not to hold on the kneecap. Come a little bit below. Elbows are hugging your waist. Inhale, collarbones wide, chin down. Exhale, guide your right knee towards your right armpit. Keep your shoulders down. Keep your elbows hugging your waist. And just relax your outstretched leg, guiding the knee to the armpit. This is beautiful hip opening. Really nice massage for your descending colon. Feeling the stretch of this. And then change. Slide your right leg out. Bring your arms out for a moment. Now bend your left knee. Place the sole of the left foot on the ground. Bring your arms in close and pull. All 10 fingertips pulling. Bend the left knee to the chest. Bend the elbows and clasp all 10 fingers 2 inches below the left knee. Pull your shoulders down. Pull your elbow tips in. Relax your outstretched leg. Inhale. Collarbones wide, shoulder blades on the mat, chin down. Exhale. Tighten the webbing of fingers. Guide the left knee to the left armpit. It's around the rib cage a little bit. Try not to let that right elbow come out of your waist. Tucking the chin. Feeling the pinch in your left hip, the stretch in your right hip and thigh. Enjoying it. It's a beautiful awakening for your hips, and now for your descending colon. And then release. Left leg down. Arms at your sides for a moment. Take a breath. And now inhale, bring your legs together. Bend both knees and inch your heels up towards your butt. See if you can get them nice and close. Feel that stretch you're doing on your slinky spine. Feel how really satisfying that is. Squeeze your legs together. Bring your arms in close. And pull with all 10 fingertips. Nice and long in the arms. Squeezing the legs tight. Bend the knees to the chest. Bend the elbow tips and wrap your arms and grab what's available to you. Could be fingers, wrists, forearms, elbows, or upper arms. Just whatever's available is appropriate for you today. Inhale, squeeze your legs tight, suck your stomach in, tuck your chin down, pull your collarbones wide apart. As you exhale, press the knees to the chest. Now, if you're holding with the arms, use the arms to squeeze your legs together and then press the knees to the chest and tuck the chin. If your arms are crossed, you can see a little diamond shape where your arms cross and your knees meet. Keep tucking your chin, noticing that that you're just creating more stretch in your cervical spine. Now this pose is great for the hips and really beautiful for the transverse colon. And we'll add a little extra move here as you inhale, shoulders down, collarbones wide, chin down. As you exhale, squeeze the legs together, draw the knees in closer to your chest, and begin pushing outward from the knees. And feel the flattening of your spine here. So a beautiful traction move for your entire spine. And then release. Keep your knees to your chest. Bring your arms to your sides. Take a breath. Inhale. And as you exhale, turn your palms over. Slide your arms under your body, hips on your wrists. It could be on your on your forearms. Palms are down. Relax your fingers and hands. Exhale. Just drop your lower back. As you inhale, begin to squeeze your shoulder blades together under your body and flex your heels to the wall in front of you. Tuck your chin. And as you exhale, squeeze your legs tightly together and begin to raise your soles to the ceiling. Keep your chin tucked. Keep flexing the heels, flexing the toes. And eventually the soles of your feet are parallel to the ceiling, and your knees might be straight or bent, it doesn't matter. Keep flexing the heels up to the ceiling, flexing the toes towards your face. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and tuck your chin. Just allow this beautiful draining, this really nice inversion as you allow your legs to get this wonderful moment of complete relaxation. Flexing your heels, flexing your toes, rotating your knees, and just letting the blood flow in the opposite direction. Inhale, tuck your chin, pull your collarbones wide, flex your heels. And as you exhale, slowly, gently, carefully begin to lower your legs, keeping them squeezed together. Just imagine your legs are being lowered by the ankles from ropes in the ceiling. You just keep flexing your heels forward, flexing the toes towards your face, pulling wide on your collarbones, tucking your chin and breathing. Inhale, flex your heels, flex your toes, collarbones wide. Exhale, go with the flow of this beautiful floating feeling. So calming to your nervous system. You're also building core strength and relaxing and relieving so much of the pressure, the veins in your legs. And eventually those heels will touch down. It'll be different for everyone watching. When your heels touch, lift your hips lightly, roll your arms out from under you. And this beautiful resting pose, Shavasana, heels touch, toes flopped apart. Inhale, balloon your belly. Exhale, deflate. Let your ribs feel like they're being pressed towards the midline of your body and drop your lower back. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're holding our lower back so tight or a rib cage thrust up until we deliberately focus on relaxing it, and then it just feels so much better. Okay, we're going to do a yoga sit-up. If you have no back issues at all, join me in this sit-up. If you have any back issues, just roll yourself over and come into a seated position. So for the yoga sit-up, inhale your arms overhead, tuck your chin, pull your fingers forward, flex your heels forward, stretch up out of your waist. Can you feel your waistline whittling down as you grow longer? Stretch. And sit up, holding your breath. Reach for the ceiling. Grab for your big toes with your first two fingers. Now double jerk with your elbows, double exhale through your mouth. Shh. And hang down, forehead to knees, chin to throat, elbows bent down beside your calf muscles. arms, sliding you up to seated position. And let's turn around to face the front. All right, let's try a warrior pose, a seated warrior pose called Supta Vajrasana. So sitting hips to heels. Remember I said it can be that not everyone can sit hips to heels. It doesn't mean you're any lesser, any in bad shape of any kind. It's just where you are in this moment. You are where you are. Very profound. You are where you are. But honestly, if you can simply say that with some measure of self-acceptance and maybe even some little bit of joy for just being here, you're doing yourself a world of good. So if this is bothersome, place your fingertips on the ground. Push into your fingertips so you're lifted by your biceps and your hips hover a little bit. And notice the strength you feel. Okay, now use your hips to sort of wiggle your heels apart. And see if you can sit your hips on the ground between your heels. Now, if you can't, no problem. Stay right here, lift it up into your fingertips, and you're going to do a little hula dance with your hips, making this really rounded kind of figure eight motion. Really beneficial, taking it slow. You know, we're not used to taking it slow, right? We think that slow is lazy. Believe me when I tell you that slow is deep and rich. It's what resonates in your body and in your nervous system. It's what gives you the lasting benefits. So go ahead and bask in going slow. Now, if your hips are down, you can place your right palm on your right sole and your left palm on your left sole with the fingers facing towards your heels. Fix your eyes on something in front of you. As you inhale more, squeeze your shoulder blades together. As you exhale, lift your chest, let your head hang, and ease yourself down into one elbow tip at a time. Slow and easy, keep lifting your chest and hanging your head. When the top of your head just lightly grazes the mat, now you can try rolling to the back of your head and lying down on the back of your head and then on your back. Bring your arms up over your head, holding your opposite elbow tips. Now at any point in this pose, you can simply stop and stay there. Could be with your head hanging back, could be in your elbow tips, could be with your head barely touching the mat, or could be lying all the way down. And if you're here lying all the way down, you can even start to walk your knees together. And you will feel an intense stretch across your quads, the tops of your thighs, but no pain, just this intense stretch. And stretching is soothing. It feels like freedom if you breathe with it. Inhale, balloon your belly out. And exhale, tuck your chin, deflate your belly, allow your lower back to drop. Feel those hands waiting to hold your lower back and let yourself be supported. Now coming out of this pose, elbows and forearms take your body weight, lifting your chest, hanging your head, replacing your hands, stacking the coils of the slinky in your spine, and then your head can float on top. And now child's pose. Knees together, heels together, hips on your heels. Place your fingertips on the ground beside you. Focus your eyes in front of you. Bend your elbows. Slowly begin to lower yourself down, forehead and breastbone. So lying down with your forehead on the mat, your breastbone on your thighs. Relax your arms and bend your elbow tips and breathe. Inhale. As you exhale, bend your elbow tips more and feel your shoulders slump. And imagine someone pressing on your shoulder blades, flattening you down. Inhale. Exhale. Still hearing the breath in the back of your throat, breathing in and out through your nose. And then releasing the pose, place your fingertips on the ground. Try not to place your palms. Let's use the biceps and not the wrists for pressure. Squeeze your legs together, press into your fingertips, hang your head, stacking your slinky, one coil at a time, and then your head up last. Let's do our final pose, Ardha Matsyendrasana, half spinal twist. So sit facing front and bend your left knee so it points to the front, unless, of course, bending the knee causes you any pain in the knee. And then please bring your legs straight out in front of you. I promise you, this is not a lesser pose. It doesn't make you a worse person or even a worse yogi. You are going for what soothes your body today. Bring your right leg up and over. So the right heel is against the left knee corner, as that's true whether your knee is bent or leg is straight out. And make sure both of your hips are settled to the mat. So you can pull this heel out from under you and just kind of wiggle the hips down. Now bring your right arm behind you. It's like a kickstand that you lean into and lock out. Left arm up by your ear. Settling your hips down by maybe leaning back into the hips. Stretch up out of your waist. Lock both arms and then bend this elbow down around the outside of the knee. Push the knee away and reach your hand down. And if you're sitting on a towel or mat, now you can grab onto the top end of it. And if you're a little bit more experienced, you might slip your hand under your bent knee. Inhale, lift your chest. Drop your chin and pull your collarbones wide. Keep both arms locked. As you exhale, look over your right shoulder. Now keep your eyes moving. Don't ever let them settle anywhere. Where your eyes go, your body will follow. Inhale, lift your chest. Suck your stomach in. Pull the collarbones wide, drop your chin. And as you exhale, move your waist. Twist your ribs around. Move your shoulders. And look at the very next thing behind you as you twist, twist, twist. And then release. Come back to center for a moment. And let's alternate. Bend the right knee, or you can keep the right leg straight out. You're constantly checking. If there's any pain, well, that's your indication. This is not a practice about pushing through pain. It's not about pushing through anything. It's about soothing yourself, going deeply enough that you can feel the benefits. Not tomorrow, but right now, after every pose that you've done in a soothing way, you're going to feel this groundedness inside of yourself. Bring your left leg up and over. The left heel touches the right knee corner. Take a moment to sort of settle yourself around so both hips are down. Now your left arm is behind you. Lean into it like a long, flat kickstand. Your right arm comes up by your ear. Both hips are down. You can lean back into the hips to make sure as you lift up, stretch up, lengthen up. Feel yourself growing taller out of your waist, and then bend your elbow and down around the knee and push. And reach your hand down, and again, if you're on a mat, you can grab that top edge. If you're not, you can place your fingertips on the ground to lock yourself out into place with this arm, or locking the arm and slipping the hand under the knee. Both arms are now locked. As you inhale, lift your chest. Pull your collarbones wide, drop your chin, and as you exhale, look over your left shoulder. Now once again, inhale, lift your chest, collarbones wide. Exhale, suck your stomach in and begin to twist, move your waist, twist, move your ribs, twist, move your shoulders, drop your chin, and now twist your eyes moving, looking at the very next thing, twist, twist, and release. Back to center. Bring both legs out in front of you. Flex your heels, flex your toes, place your palms on your shins, rotate your knees inward, drop your chin, focus your eyes, pull your collarbones wide. Inhale. And as you exhale, lean back into your hips, Let your palms begin to slide over your knees. Keep your heels pulling forward. Remember, your knees can be bent a little if this hurts your hamstrings, but slide yourself down, one vertebra at a time. Coming down easily, gently. Notice your beautiful control. And then arms at your sides, palms facing up, heels lightly touching, toes flopped apart. Now you stay right here. I'm going to push back up and guide you through this final Shavasana. You know, if you've joined us right now, we're here at the best possible time, the final Shavasana. Time to breathe and reboot. You can do this lying down. You can do this sitting in a chair. Lying down is wonderful if you can take this time to do it. So arms at your sides, palms facing up, heels lightly touching, toes flopped apart. Keep your eyes open. Keep your gaze down the middle of your body rather than up at the ceiling. So you feel that nice opening of your cervical spine. And inhale, balloon your belly out. Hear the sound in the back of your throat as you pull your collarbones wide and feel your ribs expanding. That big, strong ocean sound in your throat. Exhale. Again, this big, strong ha sound in the back of your throat as your belly deflates. Your ribs come together. Your lower back drops. Inhale. Exhale. Keep exhaling. Stay empty for a moment. Your belly is deflated. Your tailbone is dropping down. Inhale. Pull your collarbone side to side. Let your chin drop a little bit. Feel your ribs and belly expand. And exhale. Chin down, belly deflated. Tuck your tailbone a little up towards your navel. And now just close your eyes. And you know, checking in is such a beautiful thing. Let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, if 1 was very chill, really calm, and 10 was extremely agitated and frustrated, what number would you say you are at right now? Having done this practice for the last hour, maybe you've just joined for the breathing. Notice where you are. Noticing where you are is the beginning of being present. And from this moment, from wherever you are in this moment, you can get to wherever you want to be. Noticing yourself in the present moment, maybe even bringing yourself back into this place of feeling like yourself, is within your control 100%. You might not have control of outside conditions, but this condition is completely yours, and you can manage it. And that is the practice of the Blissful Warrior. You are going to be a warrior, but about your own state of bliss. And this practice, this consistent daily practice of continuing to remember who you are, and then feel like who you really are, and then move your body in cooperation with this feeling of freedom and joy and bliss, is how you go forward in your life in a way that makes you feel happy to be alive. So I'll read you something from the Blissful Warrior as we end today's session. Be yourself. Believe in yourself. Be open and relax in the certainty that your heart is guiding you well. Life is not about learning lessons to better yourself. It's about learning all the many ways to love yourself. Start easy. Start by soothing yourself. Thank you for joining me today in this Blissful Warrior Yoga practice. I'm Rhonda Uretsky. I'm the owner of River Flow Yoga. I am bringing you this Blissful Warrior practice to share every day, every weekday, here in the middle of the day, giving you a chance to pivot into the rest of your day as yourself, as your best self. So go out into the rest of your day, feel sane, feel safe, have some certainty that you, acting as yourself, can really make a difference in the happiness in your own life and in the lives of anyone you interact with today. Isn't that what you really want, to be an uplifter? Thank you again for joining me today. Tomorrow morning, and actually many mornings, we also teach hot yoga. So you can check our Facebook page, you can check our website at riverflow-yoga.com, and you can find the schedule for when we are teaching Blissful Warrior, when we are teaching hot yoga, and a couple of other different kinds of yoga practices that my teachers are sharing with everyone. We all need more soothing. We all can benefit from more soothing, and it is never too late. No matter how crazed you might feel in the middle of conditions that seem unmanageable, it's never too late to return back to this place of graceful grounding, and we are here to help you. Thank you again for joining me today. I feel wonderful. I am not interacting on Facebook for the rest of today. I feel too good. Go out and enjoy yourself today, and I hope to see you again soon.